Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. Today is August 17. There's that number queuing on, people. What's gonna happen today? Yeah, just been chilling. Still feel kind of funky. Not as funky as yesterday. I went home, ate a hot dog this morning, and just passed the fuck out, dude. Still feel kind of sleepy, but I don't know. Just felt a little funky yesterday, man. As far as updates, just been playing Grand Theft Auto for Game Boy Color. The first one. Ain't gonna lie, dude, I wanted it so bad when I was a kid growing up. I seen it. We went to the mall, I think it was FYE or something. And we went to the mall and I wanted it so fucking bad. I'm pretty sure this one's rated T. And my dad's like, "You're not a teen, you're not getting that." And I'm like, I was like begging for it, man. I was like, well, I've played Grand Theft Auto 3, and he's like, "Yeah, you weren't supposed to be playing it." I'm like, "I didn't know." And I was like, "It's only rated T, there's no, hookers or..." But nah, they wouldn't let me get it, man. So I don't know, ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted it. It's pretty cool, I like it. It's so goofy though, like the music's goofy sounding. There's no hookers. There's no like alcohol or drug references. Literally, like when you do a mission, they'll be like, "Hey, we got some coffee brewing here. Come back to the clubhouse and we'll hook you up," like instead of like beer or drugs or something, You can still run people over, you can still shoot people. They have motorcycles in it. I always thought that motorcycles didn't come into Grand Theft Auto until like Vice City, because they didn't have them in 3. But yeah, there's motorcycles in it. Yeah, fun shit, man. Alright, that's enough small talk. Let's get on with the show. Alright, so I'm a little nervous. And I'm not nervous of the virus itself, but looks like w.h.o has now said that monkeypox is an epidemic in Africa, I guess. I got a feeling they're going to try to pull off what they pulled off before with shutdowns, vaccine mandates, all the crazy shit that happened before. I just got a feeling they're going to try to do it again. If you are listening to this, you have the chance right now to not take part in this. What happened with COVID was fucking ridiculous. And when it first came out, all the videos from China of people falling and dying in the streets, I was like, I went quiet on talking about it for the longest time, because to me, I felt like, for one, I was scared, not gonna lie, because I was listening to a lot of podcasts and shit, and I knew what they were gonna be doing with this shit. I was already saying they're gonna force vaccine mandates. They're gonna, when they shut the whole world down for 2 weeks, which to flatten the curve, I was like, oh shit, they're trying to pull this shit off, and I didn't want to talk much about it because I felt like if we fed energy into it, we were legitimizing it, for one. 2, I just didn't want to feed into the fear, man. Because I already knew where it was headed. So, and I was screaming at the rooftops, if we all just say no and don't take part in this, they can't pull it off, you know? If we all just ignore it, if we just don't comply with shutting the world down. So, I'm gonna say it again. We have the chance now. I'm not sure, like, just to ignore this shit and not flatten the curve, because we see how that 2 weeks turned out to be fucking like 4 years of bullshit. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile. We know how these psychopaths work. So I'm asking you, please do not take part in this shit. We don't need to take part in this shit. We've seen how it turned out. Hopefully, if you're watching this channel, you have enough brains to not participate in this nonsense. Another thing too, like, I felt like they were testing monkeypox, like a couple years ago. Was it like I think it was like 2 years ago they were trying to push it out there, the narrative of, monkeypox. Now, is this disease X that they were talking about? I don't know. Are they going to try to pull it off with monkeypox? Maybe. It's mostly a gay disease. So if you're heterosexual like me, you got nothing to worry about, dude. Now, obviously, it's going to spread because there are people who are bisexual, men getting it from men and then fucking their wives and then their wives getting it and stuff. I'm not an expert on monkeypox though, but there's nothing to worry about unless you're like, if you're married, you all shouldn't be cheating on each other anyways, unless you're like dating and you're like very sexually promiscuous or something. I wouldn't sweat it, man. And even then, just wear a fucking condom, be careful. To me, that's common sense shit. I mean, we all learned this in human growth and development in fucking middle school. Wrap it before you tap it. Obviously, if the person's funky, you shouldn't be banging them anyways. But let's not take part in this, please. Let's not do this again. Everybody just stay calm, ignore it, don't feed into it. It's kind of like a tulpa or a vampire, like you got to invite it into your life. We have to consent to all this bullshit. They can't pull this off without our consent. And I don't consent, and I would advise you to do the same also. But let's see. Oh, I forgot to introduce my co-host, Lemmy Chillmeister. Next segment. So, I'm probably going to butcher her name. Susan Wojcicki or something. I think she's Polish, maybe. Is that a Polish last name, Wojcicki? The former CEO of YouTube passed away from, I believe it was lung cancer. Cancer in general. Which she had a death in her family. It was her son who died like a couple years back. So, that, I feel bad for the father, not gonna lie. Did I like Susan? Heck no. When she came into power, when she was in power, I was getting strikes, I feel like, every other fucking week on YouTube. Now, I have a Rumble account that pays me. I've only had a sponsor before, Anchor, which used to pay me. I made $30 off of it. But Susan was never my boss. And I say that with pride. Now, that being said, as a person, I've been trying to grow. And I've explained a new philosophy that I've taken in with my life spiritually of praying for my enemies and loving everyone as people, you know. Something that I'm not patting myself on the back. This isn't an ego thing. It's just something, I was born and raised Christian. And I still do believe a lot of the teachings of Jesus Christ is amazing. And I was telling my brother about it, man, like that I pray for my enemies and stuff, like Klaus Schwab, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, all these people. I pray for them. I don't pray for their success, but I pray for their health, their happiness, and honestly, even just a little prayer like, I hope they have a good day today, And I was telling my brother about it, and I guess he said it's actually a practice in Hinduism, and I didn't know that. Which makes sense because a lot of people don't know this, but Judaism is basically based off of Hinduism. There is a school of thought that Hinduism is the oldest religion out there, that it predates even Sumerian. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm of the school of thought that Sumerian was always the oldest. Before then, it was Egypt. Before they discovered the Sumerians and shit like that. I don't think they really even discovered them until like the 90s or something. I'm pretty sure, because I have like old Egyptology books from like Avon from like the 70s, maybe 80s, and it was like, yeah, Egypt's the oldest religion and oldest civilization, and which they think Egypt originated like I think there are theories that it originated from like ancient Arabia, and that the Sphinx, pyramids, all that shit was already there in Egypt, and the Egyptians came from Arabia and basically moved in and took credit for a lot of it. And then you get like Imhotep. Yes, you heard me correctly, the guy from the Mummy movies. He was a pyramid builder in Egypt, and his pyramids like pale in comparison of like Giza and shit. They just couldn't figure it out. They couldn't figure out how it was done. I don't believe the mainstream theories of the fucking like ancient Jews pulling it on lubed up logs and shit. That's just ridiculous. And a lot of people say like they can't figure it out too because it looks like it's built from the top down, which defies gravity and everything. But yeah, I've been trying to practice loving my enemies. And I feel bad for the husband. Now, there is conspiracies that the son was like an Illuminati sacrifice. I don't know. I try not to. There's like, I notice a trend within the conspiracy community that everyone thinks that anytime anyone elite dies, that it's an Illuminati sacrifice. I can't. For one, you can't fucking prove it. Two, I have no problem going, oh, there's like fishy stuff going on, because I guess the son died from fentanyl. He was in college doing drugs and it was laced with fentanyl. Which, by the way, do you guys know that fentanyl is actually not as fucking deadly as they make it out to be? Like, all these videos of cops, like, getting a whiff of it and passing out and shit and having seizures and shit. Apparently, talking conspiracy, that's all fucking fake. They were literally, like, faking and acting and shit for like anti-fentanyl PSA bullshit. There's a guy I watch, he's a streamer named Bionic Pig. When I'm just trying to chill and blue pill. And he covered it, and like literally a 2-second Google search was like, no, you can't pass out from touching fentanyl. No, you can't pass out from getting a whiff of fentanyl. Now, if you ingest it, it could fucking kill your ass. Because it's like a fucking horse tranquilizer or something. So if it can tranquilize a horse, it can kill you, you know. I'm not saying it's not deadly. So if you have someone you know that died from it, like, don't jump me and shit. But it's just not as deadly as they make it out to be. Starting to get a little gloomy. It was coming down here in Lexington earlier. Like, I literally woke up early because it was coming down so rough. Like, we got hail and shit. But yeah, I just pray for the husband, pray for the family. He lost his wife and kid, and I know she was a CUNT. She was a scumbag as far as censorship and stuff like that, but no one deserves to have their wife and kid both die. I mean, that's fucked up, dude. I told Sammy if something ever happened to her, like, I would be a fucking wreck. I don't even know what I would do. I would probably end up just being a crazy homeless person on the street. I'm not even gonna fucking lie. And I'm not being over dramatic. I've been through so much crazy shit in my life that I'm already half crazy. And I think that would just be the straw that breaks the camel's back. But yeah, I've noticed like a disgusting trend, and there's a large percentage of Christian, quote unquote, conspiracy channels. Like I've said it a billion times, we got like a large influx of it from QAnon, because that's a Christian cult. Even though they worship Trump more than they actually worship Jesus. Yeah, a large percentage of the conspiracy community is Christian. It is what it is. I'd say like 75% of content creators out there who are conspiracy theorists are Christians, you know. I'm one of the rare black sheep who is not, who's an occultist, classic liberal, you know. They're usually conservative, and I think that's why my channel does not do amazing, because I'm an occultist, you know. And a lot of these other channels don't like me because they think I'm a devil worshiper and I eat babies or whatever, you know. I'm Illuminati, you know. And I always play devil's advocate in their comment sections. They don't like that. But a lot of these Christian content creators are like, good riddance, glad she's dead, you know. And I'm like, that's not very Christ-like. The definition of Christian is basically Christ-like, to be Christ-like, to be like Christ. Like, pretty sure Jesus didn't go around, you know, if Pontius Pilate had died, he wasn't like, good riddance, he was evil, you know. He doesn't like Christians, he doesn't like my people. No, pretty sure he said, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, you know. Pretty sure he said, follow the commands of the government, follow the local laws and shit. Pretty sure he said to love your enemies. You're not supposed to celebrate, you know, when someone dies. Like, and I'm not perfect. You know, like when Lord Rothschild, was it Lord Rothschild passed away? Yeah, Lord Rothschild, when the Prince of, or King of England or whatever passed, or the Queen of England passed, you know. I'm not gonna lie. between me and my wife behind closed doors, I was like, we got one, you know. They're gone. Like, long live the queen, you know. But I didn't just overtly on my channel like, fuck this whore, you know, she's evil, piece of shit. I just think it does no good. I truly have the belief system, if you watched my Dr. Sleep episode, that these elites worship, you can call them fallen angels, lowercase g's, interdimensional beings, archons, whatever you prefer, jinn. I believe they are in touch with negative interdimensional entities, and that they are kind of like a channeler trying to get our, like psychic vampires, trying to get our loosh. And they want us hating. They want us to hate. They want us sad. They want us scared. I believe they feed off of this negative energy, man. And feeding into that hate and shit, you're just making them stronger. I think it's sad, and I look through the comment sections of these videos, and they're all supposed to be Christians and shit, and I'm like, you guys are like not very good Christians. Everyone's just like, good, I'm glad the bitch is dead, you know, like, yeah, she sucked. But what good does it do speaking ill of the dead, someone who can't defend themselves because they are dead? You're just feeding into the hate, dude. And it's pretty disgusting. So, my advice to everyone would be, honestly, start doing that. Start praying for your enemies. Start loving them. Like you would anyone, like any neighbor or whatever. And I'm sure I'm going to get hate in the comments of, you know, oh, you're weird, and you're an idiot. This is a stupid philosophy. Whatever. I'm always trying to better myself every day, and I'm far from fucking perfect. I'm no saint over here. But try it out. I'm telling you, when you forgive them and start to love them and pray for them, your life will fucking change. It's insane. Yeah. Alright, next segment. So, Aberdeen got married. If you don't know who Aberdeen is, there's a lot of conspiracy that she is Hillary Clinton's sexual partner, allegedly. Which I do think that, in my opinion, I truly believe Hillary is a lesbian. She's not very affectionate with Bill. There's suspicion that the child that they had together that it's not even his child, that it looks a lot more like another man. I can't remember the man though. Hit me up in the comments if you know that whole conspiracy. Aberdeen was married to Anthony Weiner. Can I just say something real quick too? What is up with the whole name game shit? I swear this is like, there's no way that this can actually be these people's real names. Like, he got in trouble for sending pictures of his wiener to like underage girls, and his name is literally Wiener. Like, I don't know. I have a theory that like they purposely name these people like weird names. Like, I was listening to a podcast yesterday called Little Stinkers, and they were doing an episode on Lorena Bobbitt, and she cut off her husband's penis, like Bobbitt, you know. I don't know, is it just me, or like the names are always like super fitting to whatever they get in trouble for? I swear it's like, I hate to sound like RV or something, Russian vids, but I'm like, dude, like, it's gotta be like a psyop or planned, or like they know, I don't know, man. you know, because I don't want to be that crazy ass conspiracy theorist that thinks that nothing is real, it's all staged, you know, because I do believe that there are genuine fucking punch buggy, no punch back, genuine natural occurring things, you know, but I find it strange. So Uma Aberdeen was supposedly, allegedly on the Frazzledrip footage, which was on Anthony Weiner's laptop, under a file called something job security or something weird. I can't remember. Hit me up in the comments if you remember what the file was, but supposedly his laptop got taken, and there was like 12 different cops who all viewed what was on this laptop, and like 9 of them killed themselves mysteriously. They said that whatever was on that file was so disgusting, they were literally like had PTSD. They were puking, leaving the room and puking. They literally had to go to therapy afterwards. And supposedly, allegedly, it's like this video called Frazzledrip of Hillary and Uma Aberdeen torturing a child, doing like weird lesbian shit with a little girl, cutting her face off while she was still alive, and Hillary supposedly, allegedly, wore it as a mask and was like dancing and smiling in front of this child, wearing the child's face. I've seen still frames of supposedly Frazzledrip. Now, I got in an argument with someone one time in a comment section. They were like, oh, those still frames are from a black metal band's music video. So, debunked. And I'm like, that doesn't debunk it. There's a lot of people who say they've seen the video. And who's to say that black metal band didn't also see the video while it was floating around? Because it was floating around back in the day. Supposedly it's gone, like you can't find it anywhere, but you can find the still frames. And I'm like, who's to say the metal band didn't find it on the dark web and was like, dude, this is dark as fuck, let's use it for a music video? Because I was in a horror punk band. I used to wear like skull face paint. We had fucked up lyrics. We sang about like sacrificing babies to Satan and like just evil shit, you know, blaspheming Jesus, like, yeah, dark shit, man. We were a horror punk band. But I don't know. I don't think that debunks it because it was in a music video. Like, who's to say they didn't find that footage and use it? Uma Aberdeen is now married to Alex Soros, which is George Soros' son. George Soros was a Jew during World War II who literally, as a child, was turning in other Jews to the Nazis, working for the Nazis. And he described this as one of the most funnest times in his life. Those are his words. Some of his most fondest memories of him being a child turning in Jews to Nazis. So this is the moral fabric of these people. George Soros is always also the one who, sorry if this hurts you and burst your little bubble, but funded Donald Trump. They had business dealings together, and Trump, when asked about these business deals, was like, oh no, I'm not talking about Soros. I have nothing bad to say about Soros. Let's change the subject. I'm not fooling with that. And it's like, of course you wouldn't, because he's your buddy. You guys do business deals together and shit. So that should be a big red flag for all you like QAnon Trump supporters and shit. You know, I bring stuff up like this, like why did he give Bill Gates like $10 million? Why did he put BlackRock and Vanguard? It's either BlackRock or Vanguard, same fucking company. Doesn't matter. Why did he put them in charge of like Federal Reserve? Gave Bill Gates tons of land and money. Never fired Fauci. Was hanging out with Klaus Schwab, buddy, hugging and shaking his hand and telling him he's doing a great job. But then later he says, I'm against the World Economic Forum. Then it's like, why are you going over there and you're kissing ass? Like, no. You sketchy, bro. You know, was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell's father. Used to hang out with Jeffrey Epstein. You know, I don't trust Trump as far as I could throw him. But yeah, Alex Soros, I really don't know much about him. But if you're married to Uma Aberdeen and your father is George Soros, the apple probably doesn't fall far from the tree. Now, I can't assume that this dude is like some Sith Lord or something, but, you know, maybe we'll have to do a deep dive on Alex Soros and see what he's involved with and shit. But I think we'll wrap it up there. So we talked about Susan Wojcicki dying, Uma Aberdeen marrying Alex Soros, George Soros' son, and what was the first thing we discussed? I don't even remember now. Doesn't matter. 3 subjects. I think that was a pretty good episode. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe, and say goodbye to Lammy.